to Access Tech Live, the latest in tech and accessibility. From the Zero Project Conference in Vienna, back to Stephen Scott and Marc Aflalo.
Welcome back. This is Access Tech Live. We are here live at the Zero Project Conference in Vienna. We're having fun today, and we're getting a chance to meet some great people.
We are.
And you know what? We're virtually going to India.
We're going to virtually go to India.
I kind of would have liked that trip, actually, if we could have arranged that.
Part of doing a global conference means that I'm going to encounter names that I'm going to absolutely butcher. So my apologies in advance to our next guest. His name is, I'm reading this guy, sorry, Sayandeb Mukherjee. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Correct.
From Enable India, the senior manager. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Tell us, what brings you to Zero Conference?
You fell over that?
Oh my God.
Really? You fell over that?
The Zero Project Conference.
The difficult thing he got over, he forgot the easier thing.
Yeah, thank you. I know. We'll get there. Tell us about Enable India. What do you do as a mission?
Yeah. Enable India works for economic empowerment and dignity for people with disabilities. Since 1999, we started our journey, and we are a pioneering organization for people with disability for having employment in various job roles, including corporate sectors and other various places, because we found that only with the government intervention, it won't work. Unless we open up the full economy for people with disabilities and place them with quality training and preparation, it won't work out. So till now, in the last 25 years, we have placed over 60,000 people in various corporate places, and we have touched more than 2 million people. Yes.
Yeah, so are you, just to sort of dig into that a little bit, are you suggesting that it's important that the government takes people on for roles, or is it that it's government regulation to encourage businesses to employ more disabled people?
Nothing. Actually, the work that we do is that people with disabilities, provide them with good and outstanding professional support training, open up job roles for people with disabilities in various companies, which are non-governmental, and place them in those companies. And the placement has its own value, because when you are economically viable as a person with disabilities, your social status increases. So just economic empowerment brings dignity to people with disability.
What is the landscape like in India for people with disabilities? We talk about, you look at Canada, for example, where there's more and more acknowledgement and more support. Is it the same system there? Is it better? Do you find it, how do you compare it to the rest of the world?
So I'll not compare it to the rest of the world, because apple and oranges cannot be compared. So I'll just compare in my lifetime of 4 decades, the change that I have experienced. I'm only 25 after this statement also, but I am born in 1980, but I'm still now I'm 25.
Okay.
So that should be kept in mind.
Understood.
Okay. So in 1980s, people like me was not even in the frame, because we were absolutely ignored. And without a supportive family, there was no ecosystem at all. So when you make an ecosystem, for example, when you plant a sapling in a very dry vegetation, you need to prepare that, right? So that preparation also was not there in the first decade. Second decade, I realized that when I was growing up in my adolescence and all, I realized that that ecosystem, that making of the soil was happening. Certain things were coming up, certain stories were coming up. Motivation was there. Stories were being made. In the new millennium, with the effect of globalization, there was a paradigm shift. More information got exchanged between other countries, and Indian disability movement gathered a huge amount of momentum. After UNCRPD, in which India was one of the top signatories, we started working to frame a new disability law. I was very fortunate, blessed by the God. I was a small bit of factor of contribution in there. That law brought huge amount of change in the next decade, the third decade. And then after that, our perception started to change because our government started to speak about disability. Because when your prime minister speaks about disability, the population listens.
Yeah.
And that made the change that is needed. But I would say that is a long way to go. I keep on comparing one thing, that is women's liberation movement started 200 years back. Disabilities movement is only 40 to 50 years old. It has to be an evolutionary pattern that we need to follow, because in the world, there is no revolution that has been successful.
Yeah.
We need to have patience as the first generation of people with disabilities to pave the path for our next generation.
Enable India, if people want to follow your movement and what you're doing, where can they find you?
www.enableindia.org.
Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. It's so nice to meet you, and congratulations on all the work and achievement that you've done in your
Thank you.
country.
Thank you so much.
Stephen,
It's my privilege.
another great person to meet here in Vienna, which
Wow,
is
right?
absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And we're, 1 hour show, but we have to move on. So we're going to take a quick
Yeah.
break and come back with a very cool company called At Scale when we come back here on Access Tech Live from Vienna, the Zero Project Conference. Here, back.
There's more Access Tech Live to come. Get involved and have your say at Access Tech Live on social media. We'll be right back.